Hey guys, I'm Elise Wong, and today we are going to talk about this book, Real Artists Have Day Jobs by Sarah Benon Casa. If you're like me, and I've always battled and sometimes loathed my day job, and often fantasize what it would be like to be an artist full time. So much so that I just couldn't be grateful for anything. I couldn't be grateful the fact that I have a steady job and I never had to worry about when my next meal is. I've become so infatuated with the idea of living the dream as a full time artist, so much so that it has affected my mental health. I felt like I had something to prove to myself that I am not worthy of holding the title of a real artist until I reach full time success, which is ridiculous, obviously, but I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I was hoping that this book will be able to address my negative feelings and guide me through life of how to be okay with having a day job. I had this artist friend who once told me that sometimes having a day job is good because you have this, you all this boredom or this anger, like all this negative feelings that comes from work. It's all just like it's bottled up inside you that when you come home you feel so fired up to just translate all that negative energy out of you and onto paper or canvas or whatever medium it is you do. So I never really thought of it from that perspective, and I thought that is really wise, and I am hoping that this book had a lot of that wisdom. So I bought this book at a discount, and it had above average ratings over at Goodreads, so I thought, why the hell not? And I gave it a go, and how did it pan out? So the first chapter came out strong with its introduction of real artists having day jobs, and it spoke to me. I'll say that. It spoke to me, and I felt like, oh man, that is what I genuinely want to hear right now. And yes, please tell me more. And I'm hoping that, I got so motivated and encouraged to like finish this book off. Bear in mind that she did mention she doesn't, as she grew older, she doesn't like the commitment of having such long paragraphs. So you can actually, it kind of reflects in her book as well, which a chapter can be like maybe even like 2 pages. And the first chapter was about artists having day jobs, and that's it. It it dwindled pretty quickly. The first chapter was literally called "Real Artists Have Day Jobs," and the rest of the book had nothing to do about being an artist or having a day job. I mean, one or two, her anxiety and depression came from facing a job, but other than that, it's not really anything about artists having day jobs. Not really. The title definitely did not reflect the contents of her book. The content was more of a collection of her life's experiences on how she handles her depression and anxiety. And it was written in a very informal way. And when I say informal, I do not mean professional or academical, but like unrefined, very unrefined. In um, She's a comedian, but her humor is just not my cup of tea, using crude words and rough language. And don't get me wrong, in this day and age, and I'm from this generation where there's just a lot of vulgar language, and I get that. But I mean, coming from a book which was I was hoping to find wisdom from, I I wouldn't mind if you used it sparingly or strategically, but I felt it was just too over the top. There are also plenty of reminders of how she's a woman, and women are great. And don't get me wrong, women are great, but I mean, it's not why I was here, for it's not exactly what I'm looking for. She does have some good points, but it is with so much filler, unnecessarily long. It's like listening to yourself monologue, unedited. Take chapter 10, for example. There will be shit days. And it starts off pretty good, trying to say that there will be bad days. No matter how hard we try to avoid them, they're bound to happen. And her point was made in about 1.5 pages, but then she tries to tie it in with her life story, which went on for 5.5 pages. I honestly felt that this could be summed in a page or two. And not kidding, towards the end of the book, I really wanted to skip it, but I just read. But what I did was I actually read the first sentence of each paragraph, and it still made such cohesive sense. That's how much filler there is. So what do I mean when I say that this book has nothing about, real artists having day jobs? Well, you have chapters of like take care of your teeth, you know, uh, taking warm baths or something like that, writing fan letters, letting a animal adopt you. And I thought, there wasn't be like the most cliche self-help thing, but there was a chapter about looking in the mirror and say I love you. None of which has to, none of which is about an artist having a day job. Just the first chapter. I'm not discounting her life's experiences. What she went through is difficult, and I applaud her for trying to find means and ways of tackling all these hardships and obstacles in life. But the book was just not marketed as the title says it is. This is definitely a self help book for people who may perhaps have depression and anxiety. And if you're struggling from those, this book may be of some help to you. But other than that, I mean, if you came here just for the title alone, then I say I cannot recommend this book for you. So those are my thoughts on the book. And thank you for listening to me rattle on this far. I am actually thinking of starting a series where I talk about books. I have quite a few books in my shelf that has to do with art, like art books, tutorials, and I thought I could share those and see if they are suitable for you. Then I hope that helps in, hoping it will enhance your art journey. So that's all for today. And if you want to follow me, you can check me out on Instagram. That's where I'm most active at. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.